take a look at the hottest auto launches from this week. A monstrous AMG-powered Mercedes GLC 43 Coupe, first drive review of the Citroën Basalt, and we get dirty with the YesD Adventure. Hello and welcome to Overdrive. I am Soini Dutt. It's been a very busy week of auto launches, especially of coupe SUVs, starting with the most awaited Tata Curve, which is launched at an introductory price of 17.49 lakh rupees ex-showroom for the 45 kilowatt-hour battery option and 21.99 lakh rupees for the top-end 55 kilowatt-hour battery option. It not only undercuts the MG ZS EV at this price point, but also offers 425 km of real-world driving range. Bookings for the Curve ICE model will be available with 2 petrol and 1 diesel engine on the 12th of August, while the launch is expected on 2nd of September. The Curve will rival the Citroën Basalt, which has also launched this week. Now, Mercedes too has been busy launching 2 high-end luxury products in the market, starting with the CLE Cabriolet, as well as the Mercedes-AMG GLC 43 Coupe, which is the final coupe SUV of this week. Rohit thoroughly enjoyed his day with this coupe SUV. Here's all he had to say about it.
Sedans are still big sellers in the luxury segment, but if you're eyeing a GLC over a C-Class, you're after more practicality. And if it's a GLC AMG on your radar, you're clearly chasing performance as well. And in case you're looking to schedule a test drive and you want to ferry your family, especially one with teenagers in it, then you'd want to know what the boot space is like. The boot space is really good. As you can see, there's also a 40-20-40 split for the seats. That's good too. But you see, you'd also want to know what the headroom is like, because the GLC AMG sold in India is only available at the moment as a coupe.
The headroom? Pretty decent.
That's of course if your teenagers haven't grown unnaturally like the cryptocurrency you wish you had invested in. But if you are single, or if you have tiny kids, or if you've made a ton of money, in that case, you will be more interested in the performance of the GLC AMG. Like the C43 AMG, there is a 4-cylinder engine under the hood, and it has the same tricks too. F1 derived technology, electric exhaust gas turbo, belt-driven starter generator, et al. Yes, 4-cylinder, so unlike your friends who may have the GLC 43, the older one, you'll not be able to flex your arm on the steering wheel and say, I've got a V6 under the hood. But you can smirk and say, I've got over 420 horses. That's more power than the older GLC 43. That's a lot more power than even the BMW X4 M40i.
More than a C43 even.
Yeah, that even. But more importantly, unlike the older V6, this is a one-man, one-engine philosophy, which in simple terms means that there is the autograph of the AMG engineer who lovingly assembled this engine in a Falterbach. Push the starter and this 4-cylinder engine comes to life with a roar. Okay, fine, not a roar, a growl, an angry growl.
Like a Rottweiler with a sore paw.
Yeah, that. But with over 420 PS, 500 Newton meters of torque, it can go from standstill to 100. In under 5 seconds. How quick can your dog run? When you hit the winding roads, you realize that this car is not only about straight line speed. With that AMG tuned suspension, it just hugs these curves, it just hugs the road. There's plenty of grip coming from it.
Like a gecko on a glass window.
But yeah, you get the drift. Especially with that 4MATIC all-wheel drive and over 2/3 of the power going to the rear wheels. It's basically running across corners, attacking corners like a wildcat on Red Bull. Well, I would have said Petronas, but that's not a drink. Formula One geeks, let this slide. Tech geeks, pay attention. This car is packed with gadgets. There's the adaptive cruise control that works smoothly even in our conditions. There's also the adaptive lighting that works really well and looks nice even to the oncoming traffic without dazzling them. There's also a lane keep assist and works quite well on B roads, highways, etc. More attentive than my mother-in-law. And then there is the full color heads-up display, which makes you feel like a fighter jet pilot.
Like Maverick from Top Gun.
No, that's a bit much. The GLC 43 is also more practical than a typical low-slung sports car. Not too many butt-clenching moments in here. And those 21-inch wheels did take a fair bit of pothole beating during our drive, but you gotta be careful with those. These come with staggered tire sizes as well, 235 in the front and 295 at the rear. Now what about the comfort, you may ask? Well, it's still a Mercedes-Benz seat, so while these sports seats are really good while you're driving around winding roads, even when you make a pit stop to the racetrack, etc., they're still Mercedes-Benz seats, so they are pretty comfortable. And at the back, it's not too bad either. Despite the coupe roofline, we already showed you the headroom is quite good. And the space is overall quite nice too, unless of course you're going to try and cram in 3 football players or NBA players back there.
But I play Candy Crush.
Well, people looking in their screen sitting in the back seat, that's going to give them motion sickness. So don't blame the car for it. So what's the verdict on the 2024 Mercedes-AMG GLC 43 Coupe? It's a car that doesn't feel like a compromise. You get the practicality of an SUV, the looks of a coupe, and the performance of a sports car.
Well, it's time to head into our break here on the show, but coming up on the other side, we'll tell you all about India's first coupe SUV, the Citroën Basalt.